What's going on, everybody? Richie here. This is Meso Cycle 2, Micro Cycle 2. So my second week of my second Meso Cycle and GZCL. This week I'm working fives, so 3 sets of 5 my main lifts at 85% of my training max. My current training max on press is 180. So getting pretty close to my actual max and trying to keep it around RPE 8 this week, like RPE 8.5. It's my boy my brother-in-law Jaron. He's been seeing some good progress himself. He linked up with me for this upper body session. So yeah, we're just getting after it. Now I got 153 on the bar. I didn't record all 3 sets. This is the top set though. And like I said, I'm trying to keep it around RPE 8.5 on this second week. Honestly, nothing crazy about today's training session. Sort of a ramping up week. Like the first week is 3 sets of 6 at 80%. That's usually relatively easy, but since it's usually coming off of a deload, it's much needed. It's like a primer week. This week is sort of a step up from that, and it's really on the ascending sets in Micro Cycle 3, where I do ascending sets of 4 at 88, 90, and 92% of my training max, where it starts to get pretty intense. And what I'm doing here is I just actually swapped out weighted chin-ups for just body weight chin-ups. I'm walking around 205 most days, and it's still a challenge for me to do a lot of volume with my body weight right now. I got so proficient at doing one heavy set of weighted pull-ups that my work capacity actually went down a bit. Which, if there was any move I could afford to sort of put on the back burner as far as priority goes when I'm trying to periodize my program, it was weighted pull-ups. It was the most advanced move that I have. So right now, it's not that it's an afterthought, but I feel like I could get more out of doing less weight at the moment. So why not? If I can get more out of doing less, why not? So what I've been doing is I've just been ramping it up. I started out like 3 sets of 6, went to 3 sets of 7. This training session I did, I believe 3 sets of 8, which was pretty difficult. The session after this that I did in the gym, so I didn't record, I wound up doing like 30 total reps. And then I worked up to like 32 or 34 the other day. And then 35 total reps broken up into like 6 or 7 sets. So I'm just increasing the volume over time. And I think once I can get to the point where I can do, 40 in 5 or less sets, I'll probably add in a little bit of weight, maybe something really light like 10 pounds, and just start building up the volume again and just working my way up. And so Jazz been in the same boat. He's been doing a lot of weighted calisthenics himself. So when we switch it up like this, it just gives us a different stimulus. And like I said, that's my philosophy. Really focusing on building up the press and the bench press, since those moves are weaker right now. And it's going good. As you saw, press was moving. This is my assistant's work. On press day, I do more bench. That way I'm not going a week in between benching. Now this may eventually turn into incline once I feel like I really got my setup down. But in the meantime, just getting more reps and a regular traditional flat bench. More times setting up a little bit of extra volume. I believe I'm working with 70% of my training max for bench, so 70% of 260. So, I got 185 on the bar, and just doing it for, I believe, 3 sets of 10. So just getting a little bit of extra volume, getting better at bench pressing. Like I said, this prevents me from being rusty on my day that bench is my main movement. So on an upper body day, press is my main movement. Then I do some chin-ups, then I do some lighter bench. On upper body day B, bench press is my main movement, so I'll go heavy on bench, 80 to 95%, depending on what week it is, and lower reps. So just getting a lot more frequency with press and bench. I've been noticing a huge carryover. I've been eating maintenance calories, guys. 3,500 a day is keeping me around the same body weight. I'm usually about 202 when I wake up, and by the time I'm in the gym, I'm usually back up to like 205. Some days a little bit more. But I've been eating maintenance calories and still getting stronger. And I feel like there's a slow recomposition taking place, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. As long as I can continue to get stronger, I'm happy. I don't want to cut too much if it's going to cost me any strength at this moment, because in the very near future, I will definitely be losing weight regardless. So just trying to maintain as much strength as I can and get stronger. So staying around this body weight seems like it allows me to do both. So that's pretty much the plan for the near future. And now you just see I'm doing accessory work, just ramping up volume. Over time, I'm using fat grips for all of my smaller movements, or probably like 80 to 90% of all my smaller movements, just to bring up the forearms, bring up my grip strength, since I've been doing a lot of my top sets on deadlift with straps ever since, I decided it really wasn't worth it for me to, even if it's a 1% chance, why risk a bicep tear? I don't feel like, it's worth the risk since I'm not planning on competing. And I'm still doing all the ramp ups with a double overhand. So it's getting my grip pretty good, but I'm just missing out. Like once I get over 400, I'm using straps. So it kind of missing out on some grip work there. So I've just been doing a little bit of extra grip work by implementing these fat grips. I love them so far. Definitely feel like it's helping to, target my forearms, which somewhat, I wouldn't say neglected because you use your grip in almost everything, but I never really like push them to the limit or feel a pump in my forearms, and I have been lately. So just adding another element of training, hypertrophy and different muscle group, and that's always a good thing. Can't go wrong with getting bigger or stronger. So that's it. Like I said, nothing really crazy this week, guys. A lot of my most insane lifts have been in the gym lately, and I'm usually there by myself, and I usually don't record. So sorry about that, but I'm definitely planning on hitting some PRs here pretty soon. So it's gonna be some cool stuff that I'm gonna post in the very near future. I'm just gonna lock myself in the garage for a week and just smash every single PR that I've had in the past, and it should be real fun. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll talk to you next time.